Hello, hello. We are live, it looks like. Yeah, I think we're going. How are you today? I am here to talk about Cecily. It was snowing here yesterday, snowing in the desert. Just so hard to believe. I was going to go out and take a few close-up pictures because I wanted to get some detail images to add to the blog post, and that did not happen yesterday. Not in the snow. No way. So I guess I will be doing that later today if it doesn't go and start snowing again. We'll see. I've got a whole bunch of birds outside my window right now. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started. So I am here to talk about Cecily. This is a triangle cowl, or sometimes it's called a handkerchief cowl, right? So you've got this triangle shape, and it's joined together in the back, and you have the cowl that's worked in a circular manner. So I'll pull it off and show you in a minute. Um, it was originally designed with a DK weight yarn from Forbidden Fiber Company for her Summer in Sunnydale Mystery Box in the summer of 2022. So this is Cecily's public debut. I'm very excited to share her with you. So this was a full skein of variegated yarn and then 5 mini skeins. So we had the red and the, what was next? I can't see upside down. Yeah, purple, then gray, and then the 2 shades of blue. So let me pull it off so you can get a better look here at how it works. So if I turn it this way, so that's where it's joined in the back there, right? So if you turn it this way, you can see the triangle, right? And so what you do is you work a triangle. It's worked from the bottom up in rows, and it is a post stitch texture. It's kind of a riff on the linen stitch because there are chain one spaces in between the post stitches here. So you get this sort of basket weave fabric in the triangle part of the cowl. And because it is worked from the point up, you can work it until the triangle part gets to the length that you want to be the circumference of your cowl. So it's really easy to customize this to get a fit that you want, right? Okay, so the other thing that I want to note though is that you actually work this edging on the triangle before you move into the cowl. So that's why it's worked in the main color here. So you work the triangle and then you work the edging and then you join it in the back here, and you can see right here. Nope, off screen. I don't have enough hands here. All right, so we join right here and start working in the linen stitch. And then you can kind of see, it's hard to see on this screen in this light, I know, but the jog between the colors. So when I changed colors, I just did it organically. I didn't try and make it a smooth join, which you could do if you wanted to. But because these colors were all pretty close to each other, I just went ahead and shifted into the next color, and I kept it in the back, right, of the cowl. So it's going to be all scrunched down in the back of your neck anyway. So you wouldn't be able to see it. So anyway, this part, the cowl part, is worked in standard linen stitch with an optional spike stitch here to kind of further break up the uh, transitions between colors. So I think it's a fun textured piece. There we go. Now you can really see those spike stitches popping. Because we've got so much going on with it. We've got the post stitches, the little basket weave texture. We've got picots along the edges, right? And these are just shell stitches, and I added a picot in the center to make it a pointed shell essentially, right? So that kind of mirrors the triangle shape. And then the linen stitch and the spike stitch. And so you get this squishy, drapey fabric with tons of texture to play with. And I really love the original colors here because they're like they're this juicy berry type color. Oh, Trish is here. Hi, Trish. Thank you for joining me. So, yeah, these colors are just really, really fun. I enjoyed working with them, watching the colors shift with the linen stitch section, especially. I always, you know me in color, I like doing that part anyway. But um, anyway, so the stitches that I have in this, I have video tutorials for front and back post double crochets. I have a video tutorial for the linen stitch and the spike stitch. I don't think I have one for the picot yet, actually. I thought I did, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think I did picot demonstrations for the edging class. And so I need to do that. That is going at the top of my to-do list to do a tutorial for picots. And I like to do a modified picot. So when I do a picot, I do my chain, and then instead of slip stitching back into the chain stitch, which is really fiddly, I actually slip stitch into the top of the previous stitch instead. So I just insert my hook under the top two loops of the previous stitch. So that gives me a slightly sturdier nubbin, I think, and it's less fiddly to work. So yeah, you'll find instructions in the pattern for the modified picot, but you can absolutely work whatever kind of picot that you want. Speaking, oh, hi, Donna, thank you. Speaking of doing whatever you want, if you want to do a yarn substitution, this is pretty adaptable to other weight yarns. I had a couple pattern testers actually sub in. I had one do it in an Aran weight yarn, and so she just did fewer repeats. So she worked her triangle until she got it to about the circumference that she wanted. Well, the length to equal the desired circumference or close to it. And that worked out just fine. And then I had another tester switch from DK in the triangle part to fingering weight yarn for the cowl, and that worked as well. So you might have to do a little bit of math or really just measuring to make sure it's the right size you want, but it's pretty adaptable for other yarn weights. And I happen to know that Leanne of Forbidden Fiber Company has lots of mini skein kits that she does. So if you'd like to do this in a slightly lighter weight yarn, you could check those out. So let me pop this back on because I want to show you. So one of the great things about a triangle cowl is you get the full, let me back up a little bit here. So you get this full triangle shape like you would with a triangle shaped shawl, but in the back you just have the cowl here, so you don't have a lot of extra bulk for on the back side there. So it's really great if you need to put on a jacket, so it's good for layering. And then of course you've got the cowl section here, and you could, of course, you could make this narrower, you could make it longer if you wanted to have it really bunched up and high. You could add increases or decreases to fit and flare it if you wanted to. You could get creative with it because this part right here is just linen stitch, single crochet, chain one, skip one. All right, so you can get creative with that part if you want. And if you want to skip the spike stitches, you could do that too. Like for example, I think if you were to work this in a solid color, you would kind of lose that texture of the spike stitch unless you were looking at it really up close. So like down here, I can't even see between the gray and the purple. Looking at the camera on screen, I can't even see the spike stitches between those two colors. However, if I bring it up closer, then I can see them. So yeah, I think if you were going to work this in a solid color, then I might just skip the spike stitches because you wouldn't be able to see them. Like they just sort of disappear, very nearly so. And I'm like 2 feet from the camera right now. So that's a modification option for it, and of course you can customize it to the size you want. Just remember that you want to make sure that the cowl fits over your head. So I believe the average adult head size is 22 inches, so mine's actually a little smaller than that. So if you want to not like a turtleneck over your head, make sure that you don't go too small with it. So that is Cecily. What other things? See, we talked about modifications, we talked about yarn, I talked about the stitches and how it's made. Uh, do we have any questions from anybody? Let me check the comments here. I don't see any questions. So I think that is all I have to share with you about Cecily. But if you think of anything that you have questions, you can pop it into the comments or let me know. Shoot me a direct message or an email and I will answer your questions. What Donna wants to know, what's the piece behind me? This here, this is Windover. This is a scarf with, it's kind of a stitch sampler style scarf. And so it was originally, this is another Forbidden Fiber Company project actually, or design. So this is my solid color version. It was originally designed with mini skeins in different colors. So Donna, I will drop a link for this into the comments here on the Facebook video when it posts for you. So yep, that is Windover. And it's available in my Ravelry shop as well as on Etsy. So you can definitely go check that out. All right. Do we have anything else? All right. Check the video description for links. Donna, you didn't recognize it in the solid color. Yeah, it looks a lot different, doesn't it? Windover looks different in a solid color than it does with the stripes. You are most welcome. Absolutely no problem. All right, well, thanks so much everybody who joined me live, and you can catch the replay soon. It should post soon in both the group as well as here on my main page. So I will see you next time. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much. Bye.